Hola everyone, como estas? What's up? Welcome back to Groovy Plant Addict. So today I'm going to show you how I make my prop boxes and whatnot. I just got 4 more prop boxes because I only had 2. And some of my things I do prop in water. And some of them, they need more humidity because I bring my rack in and out of the garage. I prefer to use a prop box. And I'll leave it outside because I do not like leaving my plants outside all the time because in California we have the Santa Ana winds. So it does get windy here sometimes, like probably like 14, 15, 17, probably 20 miles per hour type of wind. So it's like they fly off of the thing. I'm not saying it's like the most strongest wind. I know it's windier elsewhere, but still. I'm pretty sure you get the point. So typically I use like a little container for water to keep the humidity. Sorry, I dropped that. And if I need to, I could also prop stuff in the water that I use for the humidity. And basically what this does is it helps keep the humidity up in the container, as well as I'm not gonna have to spray it a lot because there's a lot of humidity. So this is the sphagnum moss that I use. I do use it, and so far I've done around 2 prop boxes, and I also use the moss for other stuff. So this one I believe is the 2-pound one. Yeah, and it does go a long way. It says compressed 8 liter, I think. Yeah, but anyways, it expands. So I just get this one off of Amazon. This is the brand. I believe it's like 20 something dollars, like 24 somewhere around there. And moss is a reusable resource. So if you have some, and if anything happens to it, like it gets infected with something, just make sure you disinfect it before reusing it. Besides that, if there's nothing wrong with the moss, you really do not have to worry about that. Normally I leave around like an inch of sphagnum moss. I also do use mosquito bits in here just because I do not want anything like growing in here, as in pest wise, like fungus gnats, because it's going to be a humid area. And this has gotten me a long ways, but there are other products that I have tried that I think I have preferred a lot better because they work quicker than that. But if it came down to it, mosquito bits does work. Right now I'm just spraying my moss and I'm making sure it's very damp, but I don't want it to be like soggy wet. I just want it wet where I could squeeze moisture out of it if I picked it up to squeeze. And I'm just using regular water for this. And I propagate all of my plants that I do propagate in water. Like most of them, I do propagate them in here. Except for like, I would never put my succulents in here. I do check the humidity on here by looking at it. And sometimes you want to also open it because you do not want it to be super humid. Super humid can also cause bacteria growth, which is also not good either. So typically I leave mine closed for the most part, and I do have it outside, and every time I go check it, like every 2 days, I do open it and I leave a little crack of it open. If you wanted to, you could drill holes or a couple holes or whatnot on the top of the lid of the box, but if you're just very constant with checking how humid it is in there, then you'll be fine. Typically on my prop boxes, I don't let the actual thing get so humid where I can't see through the plastic, but I do let it get humid enough where this part will stay humid and it'll condense right here, but not right here. And then I just have a regular lid that I got from Target. I got this from Target. This was $3.99. I just get the ones that are 16 quart because I don't really have super tall plants that I really have to worry about. I could take one of these, fill it with water. So I'm gonna fill this with water. I'm gonna use the water right here because I have 2 gallons right here that I can use. get this from Home Depot. This is my pump stuff right here. And it fills it up. And this is going to be used to keep in the humidity. And it works really, really good. And I hardly ever have to fill them up. The only time I have to fill them up is mainly when I'm like also using it to water prop something that I want to have a lot of humidity. And I'll use that. And even then, I hardly have to put any water in there. I mainly like the prop boxes because instead of having like all of this stuff right here propping, I could have it all propping in one box. So for me, it's more convenient because it saves space in my opinion. Even though they're big boxes, they're stackable compared to like, you can't stack a glass that has stuff in it unless if you want it to die. So let me show you how I will propagate some of my stuff. I just bottom watered that one. A lot of this I have been bottom watering it lately, and this one does need water. Even when I do water, I water in a container so the water falls in the container so I don't waste any water, and I use that bottom falling water to water more of my plants. Okay. So typically plants that I will propagate with a humidity chamber or like a pot box are like the ZZ plant cuttings. These are my, what are these called? Peperomia ripple or Peperomia emerald. I'm sorry I said that wrong. And it just let it get humidity right here. And then I'll close it if I have to, if the humidity drops too much. I like to keep my calatheas in the prop box, and I took them out of an old one, so I might as well just put these in here. Even though they're in a container, it will also help propping it because it will grow a lot better in the humidity, which enhances its survival rate by a high percentage. I'm not really sure what percentage. Don't ask me. I'm not a mathematician. I just like plants. I also want to make a video on how I propagate my Hoyas as well, and how I propagate my Monstera adansonii. I do have a lot that I'm propagating right now. Some of the leaves change a little, not cute color, and I think that's just like that because it's trying to work on building a root system, but like, ouch, my knuckle. But they're still alive, and this one just pushed out a new growth. There's one where you can see the whole root coming out of the, this one's attaching its roots on the bottom. You can see it right there. So I'm also gonna be doing a video on that soon. I mean, that's what I mean, I can talk. So I have my handy dandy gardening shears. I've upgraded. I have like 3 pairs, but I do like this one because it's like for smaller, and I feel like the other ones are like very big compared to what I have now. But you guys, basically the way I'll propagate something is, I don't really have like a special box for like a certain plant, but one of my prop box mainly has like watermelon peperomias in it, and it's just like that because I did that all at the same time. But like, I'll take like one of this right here, and I do not ever propagate the stuff right here, so I'll just cut it like this, and then normally I'll either just put it in the prop box or I'll just leave it out for like an hour or so, or sometimes I'll just put like a little bit of rooting hormone on it. I really don't worry about it. I haven't had a lot of stuff rot in there. The stuff I had rot in there, like I was surprised that it even rot in there because like I thought like something else was gonna rot in there, and the stuff that I thought wasn't going to did. So it did me dirty. Yeah, basically. I even take like ugly leaves off my plants. So like, to me, this is an ugly leaf. I'll take it off my plant. I'll cut all the bad off because you can propagate them like this. And I have never really had a high success rate with putting these in like soil and whatnot. So I do propagate these in my sphagnum moss propagation, and I have them growing roots, and they're doing very well, and they're starting to push out little tiny watermelons, like microscopic ones. So I'm actually very happy for that. So basically, I like to trim my plants. Anytime I trim it, I never ever throw away my plants cuttings. If they're good, I will try to reproduce them, just because I feel like I want to share my plant collection with other people, as well as I have my Etsy shop as well. So just because I'm not gonna use that plant, that piece of a leaf, doesn't mean I should throw it away in a sense. So that's why I did not throw it away, and I refuse to throw it away. I do have brand new little Hoya leaves that are coming in, so those I will not touch. I just propagated my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma as well, so that I will not touch as well. Let's see. I'm just saying at this point, like, I might as well just cut up this one since I already started. So basically, cutting up a plant is actually really good for the plant. They say you don't want to cut up too much foliage where it can't photosynthesize, but at the same time, when you cut up your plants, you're also like giving it a signal to be like, hey, start growing, like, you know? So sometimes they take a longer time to root compared to like water, I've noticed, because sometimes I do use rooting hormone in the water, but sometimes when I use rooting hormone in the water and I water propagate, sometimes they have problems acclimating to the water and they'll just rot away and die. And in my sphagnum moss prop box, I've never had like a plant like fully die without it almost rooting or starting to root. So like, for example, I'll have a plant in water and it'll die. I'll have a plant in the moss and it'll take longer to root, but it won't die. As long as you check on it and you're very consecutive with it, it's gonna be perfectly fine. I do this and I save a lot of my plants this way as well. And I basically try to fill up as much as I can. I also do propagate my node cuttings in my prop box, because I have found that if node cuttings dry out too much, they're goners. So the way I make them propagate is I put them in the prop box and I just set them down. That's literally all I do. And then I just put my small heart-shaped leaf Brazil philodendron in there. No, that was regular philodendron, my bad. I put it in there because I feel like it's not doing well because it doesn't have enough humidity. So we're gonna give it what it wants. So, yep. And then I'll take like my Brazil cuttings. So right here, I take this off, that's a node. I'll leave that on. But I do take like the little filmy stuff off, because sometimes I find that it has trouble or a longer time rooting, or just doesn't root at all. And I'll leave it like this. You could leave it with the long stem cutting, or you could do individual cuttings, but I also do them like this as well. Sometimes you could leave them out if you want to. You could put rooting hormone powder. I really wouldn't suggest like putting like something super like potent on there, because it is going to be in a prop box. And I just cover it with the sphagnum, just the nodes, not the leaves. And yep, that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my plants. And please give this video a like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to see more content like this, please let me know. And if you have anything you want to say or any questions, or you want to check out my social media, please comment or check it out down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.